So, yeah, so anyway, super happy to be here. Happy to answer any questions. Know me better, I'm a pretty open book, even when I'm presenting in the all hands, which I know I haven't done for quite a while, but we're going to get those back in the books at the end of the year.
So we're gonna start with the easy one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's my favorite color?
No.
It's orange, by the way.
Which are, if you can decide and choose one superpower.
Yeah, you know, that's sort of a hard one. I think I'd like to be invisible. For lots of reasons. For the obvious reason, which is there are plenty of days I would like to be invisible. But, you know, it's like that fly on the wall thing. It's not having to cross the street if you don't want to talk to someone. But I think, you know, I think being invisible would be a really cool thing to be.
And you're from the US.
Yeah.
You have been living in Europe since 15 years?
Yeah, 15 years. I moved here in 2010.
Okay. You have traveled around the world. And if you have to decide one place,
Yeah.
the best one?
So I did look at that question. I was like, that is a hard one.
Yeah, cheap.
Yeah. Well, just because, you know, every place is so different. And there are places where you're comfortable and you go, oh, well, I want to, you know, go live on the beach somewhere. And you're like, no, I probably get bored doing that. So for me, you know, I actually really love where I live right now. So I live about an hour south of London, right? So I'm in the middle of the countryside, lots of farms, but so why do I love it? Beautiful place, you know, gorgeous area, but I'm 30 minutes from the airport, so I can go anywhere, right? Really quickly. You sort of have all of the seasons. So for me, where I grew up in the US, in Connecticut, we had 4 proper seasons. It snowed, we had weather like this in the summer times. So for me, it would have to be a place that has like a mix of all of the seasons, you know, so you can enjoy all the seasons.
No Caribbean?
No, I'd be bored. I would get bored. So yeah, fortunately, I'm very happy where I am, so that's the good news. No, I'm not moving back to the US, that's what everyone always asks, but I'm a British citizen now as well as a US citizen.
Yeah, so you are happy where
Yes.
you are now, and what does happiness mean to you?
Yeah, so for me, it's what I love about my job, right? So it's traveling to new places, experiencing new things, actually challenging myself, because I actually don't like to travel alone, but I travel alone all the time, right? And if it's for business, that's okay, because, you know, I have dinner with Manuel or whoever. But, you know, for me, I think the understanding how, this is going to sound strange, but how small you are in the context of the world around you, I think is what makes me happy, because you just realize there's always something new out there. There's always a place that you haven't been. With all the travel that I've been to, they're like crazy places that I can't believe I've never been to. I've never been to China, you know? That's bizarre to me. That feels like an obvious place to go, right? But yeah, so that's what makes me happy. It's not just connecting with people, but connecting with, you know, different environments and stuff to make you appreciate your happy place, which is my house in the south of England.
And on the other hand, the biggest fear?
Being bored. Like, that is hands down. Like, I can't, my sister says this to me all the time. She's like, would you just sit? You know, she's like, you're always up, like, you know. So yeah, being bored, I think, would make me crazy.
Fear?
Oh, I'm not scared of a lot of things. My cat dying, that's probably like the second biggest fear.
She's a cat lover.
Yes.
I don't remember the name of your
Gwyneth.
cat.
Yeah, well, during COVID, you know, when I was doing my all hands, you would just see this tail go in front of the screen. It just became this joke. She's in, like, I mean, Nando sees her every day. You know, she's in every meeting, whether you think she's there or not. So she's always sitting on my lap.
Apart from your cat, and then you admire her. Another living person that
Yeah,
not
so-
to be famous, but this is
No,
not nice
actually,
of
so one of the women I most admire is Maya Angelou. So she was poet laureate in the U.S., but I get chills just thinking about her. She's an amazing woman, right? She's accomplished so much in her life. She came from nothing, very poor, was abused as a child, like everything that could have gone wrong or kept her back didn't, and she is so kind, so generous, so smart. She's just an absolutely beautiful human being, and I have these tenets that I have, like, phrases that I use all the time, and my favorite one, which I've used in business and personally, but she says, when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Right? And it's a really interesting, because you go, oh, but sometimes they're putting on a facade and you need to get to know them. And I'm like, that's the point, right? So she, and she's written a couple of really beautiful books. So if you don't know her, she just did a thing for the women in the room, but the men should watch it too. She was receiving this award, and she was talking, I'll send you the link so you can send around, just does this amazing poem that she just sort of wrote on the fly, just about the beauty of women, and that the beauty of women has nothing to do with the outside. And it's all about embracing all of our imperfections and things. Anyway, she's an amazing woman.
And think of Maya, maybe which talent would you like to have?
I wish I played an instrument.
Yeah.
I sucked at all of them. I was like, I was bad at piano. I really wanted to play guitar, and I sucked at that. So I really wish I would really love to learn. Well, it's too late now. Well, it's not too late, but I'm sure whatever I tried to pick up, I would be horrible at. So I'm gonna leave that to somebody else.
So you cannot play piano, any instrument, but which achievement in your personal and professional life are you really, really proud of?
I'm really proud of this. When you think, you're like that. I pinch myself some days, or actually, part pinch yourself and then part fraud factor, right? Like, how did I get here? Like, well, what am I doing here? Why is anyone listening to me? But I'm proud of that too, right? You just sort of realize and it doesn't matter, where you are in your life. I think you've got to remember to just be really proud of how you got where you got, or, knowing where you want to go, and, having that ambition. Those are things I'm proud of, the relationships that I have at work, and I'm proud of. I think about, which is something for everyone here to be proud of, like 2% attrition, right? And for me, you just need to be really proud of the relationships that you have around you, and work is probably one of your biggest relationships. You spend so much time, unfortunately, more time at work than you do with your families, right? So you need to be really proud of what you do, and so I am proud of that.
Okay, we have 2 questions left.
Okay.
Okay. What do you value the most in your friends and relatives in your family?
Humor. It's like just you've got to be able to laugh. Life is hard enough. So.
And what do you prefer, American or British humor? That was not on the questionnaire.
I don't know. Probably British humor now, actually, because now when I listen to American comedians, U.S. humor is quite straightforward. It's sort of, very funny. I don't mean obvious in a bad way, but the humor is quite obvious. Where I think, British humor is much more subtle, which I really appreciate as well. So I would probably say British humor.
Okay. And just to finish this, to tell the team why you are here in Gijón, just to comment why you are here, Amanda, Naeem, and the reason for this visit.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, look, well, one, to come to the office, really. Which was not, it was just never was the right time. But, I mean, right now, look, the size and scale now of Merkle is significant, right? So when we acquired Divisadero, I mean, we weren't even 1,000 people at that point, and we're 5,000 people now, right? We're in 14 different countries, and, we're a really scaled business. And part of the Merkle strategy has always been around building up sort of core capabilities. So one of the reasons I'm here with Naeem and also Nando, and we were talking about this earlier, right? So now we have all the parts now as Merkle, right? And the strategy for Merkle was never for every office to do everything, right? Because it's too hard and too expensive to replicate that in every market. So our strategy, our acquisition strategy, was always about what capability do we need, and where can we buy that capability to give us a footprint in a market that we want to be in. So now we've got that, right? We've got our data, we've got MarTech, we've got analytics, we've got experience, we've got commerce. They're all scaled. We've got Salesforce, we've got Adobe. I mean, it's an amazing business that has been built in essentially the last 9 years, right? It's pretty incredible. And then with the integration with Isobar that came in, right? So now we have to organize that scale to empower every market to do everything, right? So it's not about us, all of a sudden buying a commerce agency and this, right? We've got what we need. So part of being here the last couple of days is for us to really understand the breadth of the capabilities that are here, and then how do we really organize ourselves to make sure that everyone is using these services and not building them in another market, right? The advantage that we have here is obviously quite a large business, incredible what you guys do, and given where we are in Spain, it's really good value for our clients, right? So it's the best opportunity to actually grow the capabilities here from a regional perspective. So that's really one of the reasons. Naeem joined the team back in October. Yeah.
Coming up on a year now.
Yeah, really? Oh my God. So, yes, still here. So Naeem's been with us. He came with the Ugam acquisition, but was really responsible for building out Ugam's offshore center, which was in support of the US. So really now looking at how do we consolidate all of our nearshore centers, so in Barcelona and Czech Republic and Bulgaria and Serbia, right? How do we start to organize all of those? Because it's almost 2,000 people, right? And make sure that, they were set up for a particular market, right? So Bulgaria was for the UK team for commerce. How do you might have heard the term the democratization of CX. Sometimes I wish I never made that word up, but and that's really what we're trying to do is get a real understanding of all of the capabilities to make sure that everyone can access the talent that's here and what you do in the analytics and in the data space, right, as well as the technology space, right? And in the same way, how do we make you guys a huge commerce hub for Spain by using, Bulgaria or the teams there? So here to really learn more about the teams and stuff that you're working on. I talk to them all the time. And then, for us to be able to go back and say, okay, how do we organize all these 5,000 talented people to really supercharge our growth in every market? So that's what I'm here. Does that make sense?